Well, you guys, the offseason just keeps getting better and better for the Trojans. We knew that this was going to be an important offseason for SC. We watched the playoffs. We are on the outside of that. And it was clearly evident that we did have some great developers, some great coaches, but we were missing something, Preston. We were missing something in the roster.
Oh, yeah.
You know, depth, quality of depth, and playmakers. I mean, we have playmakers all over the field, but you know, that Jordan Addison level playmaker that we know that we have Jacoby Lane and Lemon coming up, but we really need these just special out players. And so the question has been is what's going on with our recruiting? Why is USC finishing, you know, in the high teens in recruiting? And something needed to be switched up, and they've now done that. The first news we got originally was we had the GM was announced. Well, let's go back a little further, actually. It was even a little further back. Just what are your initial thoughts? Let's do the timeline next. What do you think about the recruiting, what USC has done, Preston?
I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed by the effort, by the people they're bringing in. I mean, it's youthful, you know, it's energetic, it's experienced, and it's everybody they're bringing in. I mean, seems to have a grasp on the current landscape of college football. What kids are looking for, what they want out of a college football experience, out of a university experience. And I'm happy, man. I'm happy because, you know, probably a little over a month ago, I talked about the fact that the possibility of USC administration, the university, not truly caring about the sport of football, not truly wanting to, you know, to take these funds that the university is generating and put it into the football program. It seemed like they didn't really care with you know, the players that we were hemorrhaging, you know, the decisions that were being made. And now I can say that I can't say it anymore. Like I gotta praise, you know, Miss Jen Cohen, excellent job, administration, excellent job. You guys are doing a hell of a job, you know, putting together this staff up top, you know, to really operate and be successful as a you know, one of the preliminarily dominant college football programs of all time. And it's just great to see. So I have no complaints. I'm super excited, and yeah, fall's a long way away, but I'm ready to play some football already. You're muted, Tim. I believe Tim's muted.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm muted. Yeah. So sorry about that. No worries. So the issue is for the longest time, a lot of fans just didn't get this. Jen Cohen. I mean, what a gift and blessing Jen Cohen has been for USC. I don't think that we could say this enough. I know that a lot of the media has been on board and understand, you know, how special she is and what a great pickup Carol Folt did by bringing her on board. But I think a lot of fans just were missing the boat. A lot of the anger was going towards Jen Cohen, what's going on, what's happening, when in reality, we're still digging ourselves out of the mess that was the self-sanctioning that happened after the NCAA sanctions. We were wallowing around 10 years of just absolute poor decision after poor decision. And there are many times, you guys, you know, you guys have been longtime fans of USC, you realize you'd be like, who? Huh? The hires that were being made under just like the last 6 or 7 years of the Clay Helton experiment, the having an offensive line coach that never had, you know, you bring in Graham Harrell to run an air raid, and then you bring an offensive line coach that didn't really ever run in an air raid scheme. And then finally you get, you know, you bring Clay McGuire in, which made huge dividends, which paid off very well for the next year for Lincoln Riley's first year. The way he developed them. So getting the right guys in place is a big thing. And there's two exciting things about what's been hired in the mass on this staff. You have this combination of youth and recruiting now to go along with what we had already got earlier, which was a bunch of guys that had just lots of experience. Took jobs at USC that were most people would think would almost be like a demotion to come to USC from the NFL or from different like a head coach when you had with Entz. And now you have a situation where we're sprinkling in the one thing we thought was missing. We added developers, and now this run right here, and why I put Dream Team for the title, is this young group of recruiting phenoms, right? Is you started this, and really it started with Savage. They brought in Coach Savage to tight ends and inside receivers, and one of the big reasons is he's he knows Southern California, and he's a great young tenacious recruiter. And I think we're going to see dividends from this, almost immediately, Preston. Yeah.
And here's the thing, right? When you talk about Savage or Dre Brown, anybody that we're going to attack, and Tim, you bring this to my attention all the time because I'm still thinking like it's 2010 and I'm trying to go to USC and I'm just like, bam, sanctions, I don't care. Like, sign me up. I'll go. But, you got to talk about, we talk about recruiting. You're coming into living rooms with a grandmother maybe that doesn't even know what the Heisman Trophy is. Parents that don't care about 11 championships. It's all the communication. The communication is what's going to get people in the door. The communication and the trust is what's going to get a kid from Miami or a kid from Georgia all the way out to California, knowing that, their kid is going to be able to eat well, is going to be able to succeed and get a degree at a world-class university or be developed into an NFL player. So that trust, that accountability from the staff, and then people on the staff that have been there and done that. People on the staff that have been there, grown up in inner cities, gone to universities, become successful, become, great college football players, start businesses or, get into coaching. People that have been there and done that and can prove that, they know the path, they know the way. And that's truly the blessing with this staff, man. I love it. Just ton of experience, ton of youth. Dre Brown being 27 years old, stepping in this position of personnel, recruiting personnel at USC, and it's good stuff.
Yeah, and so having again this movement now to roster build, and a lot of people, almost everyone I've listened to, everyone I've talked to, a lot of people in the media I've talked to, a lot of friends I've talked to, everyone basically is saying the same thing. And that is that USC is going to have Lincoln Riley taking a lot of that weight off of him, because whether it's fair or not, whether it was NIL, whether it was just the build that had to be made, this roster just seemed like it was spinning, whether it was like the late move, not making the defensive changes quick enough that led to this. But this is going to free up Lincoln Riley a lot. We now are getting into the professional front office situation where it's going to be run professionally. What really schools that you're looking at in the playoffs, going deep runs in the playoffs, is because they've been doing it for years. And they've been on the cutting edge. They've been pushing the limits of what's legal with NIL. And now USC is finally catching up. And I've been saying this forever. And if arrogance, fine, call it arrogance. But I've been watching USC for decades, and when USC is right, nobody can compete with us. I'm just telling you, nobody can. And with this young youth movement they have now, as far as the recruiting staff is concerned, I'm questioning if anyone is, if they have made the turn. So then we were waiting for long. One of the big talks was when Matt Entz left, we were wondering, so what's going to happen with the linebacker position? And just as always, everyone has their ideas. Who's going to be the linebacker coach? We're throwing out USC alumni. We're throwing out people that have worked with each other before. And then out of the blue, you get the word that Rob Ryan is now going to be coming in. And we're not going to go much. We already covered Rob Ryan a bunch. But we just really wanted to build the case of what's going on with his dream team in recruiting. Look at the shift. Now, Rob Ryan is not the kind of guy that probably is going to be tweeting and texting kids and playing video games with them and getting to know them. But he is a name that's instantly recognizable if anyone knows football. The Ryan family, going all the way back to Buddy Ryan, the 85 Bears, to Rex Ryan. Everyone knows the Ryan family, and instantly he's going to walk into living rooms and just have that level of clout that's needed just for name recognition. But then USC wanted to build, and the second part, so linebacker coach was huge on our list. Then we need to have a GM. The GM talk was going on forever, and nobody, again, just this is the great thing about Jennifer Cohen and USC's administration. Everyone thinks they know where we're going, and then they throw you a curveball. And they go get the Wonder Boy from Notre Dame, who's been putting together a staff, a guy that you had Marcus Freeman say is the guy he could not lose on his staff. Like, who was the most important? It was this guy. And I don't know, Preston. I mean, with him at the top, what are your expectations? Again, let's not go into the people who are hired today, but what are your expectations quickly with Bowden? I mean, Bowden has been that guy. What would you say about Bowden, just really quickly in a nutshell?
Hey, Bowden, man, when you talk about GMs, all I need to hear is the fact that Marcus Freeman literally says, like, if I can't make it to the kid's house to seal the deal, Chad Bowden can go over there and seal the deal. So if he's able himself to step into anybody's living room and get a kid to sign on the dotted line and seal the deal, I mean, that gives me full confidence that he's going to be able to do it at USC. Another one, young face, energetic. Father was a GM in the Major League Baseball for years and years and years. You know, kind of knows the in and outs of, you know, what that position entails. Obviously, it's different when you talk about college football to professional baseball, but it's in his blood, man. And I'm super excited that you know he's at USC and can use this platform to, you know, continue to build his resume and have success, man. I hope he's here for the next 20, 25 plus years. I mean, I cross my fingers, but, you know, if we have success, who knows what happens. But
scouting and contracts and stuff throughout whatever, if it's baseball or if it's football, I'm sure those conversations he's gleaned from his father, who went on into announcing, is going to be critical for him. Make sure you go and check the last video we did. Paulie did a deep dive talking about Chad Bowden, and if you missed it, you know, make sure you go check out Preston over at Preston's Paradise. Might as well just get this out of the way right now. Guys, go check out Preston's Paradise. It's his site. Make sure you go and check out Gabe. Gabe also had a great video on the Bowden hire.
Yep.
Sorry, I got a little bit sick. So make sure you check it out, all of their work. But again, that's kind of old news. But we just wanted to talk about what's been going on at USC. And so then you had the Bowden hire. And then the next move, which we just found out, they bring on Trovon Reed. And so with Reed, basically you get a guy, he's most recently the Cornerbacks Coach at UCF. A quote from Rice saying, "A rising star in our business. Reed is a talented coach with NFL playing experience. He's an exceptional recruiter who will surely contribute to our climb as a program. We're excited to welcome him to USC." As you probably know, if you've been anywhere on YouTube or on Twitter, he's got two guys from UCF that are in the Senior Bowl. Yep. He coached Chasen Johnson. If you guys remember, if that name sounds familiar, that was the young man who committed to USC, decommitted to USC, committed somewhere else, and now he's back at UCF. So he did the whole circuit. Just again, the weird world of NIL and the transfer portal. But he's back there. He played at Auburn, and he played on the Auburn 2010 national championship team. He's calls Louisiana home. And he went back to Auburn and from 2021 to 2023 as the Tigers director of football and recruiting relations. And on Twitter, Preston, there was a certain 5-star offensive line recruit that was really excited about his hire. Do you want to go a little more into that?
Yeah, man. Lamar Brown basically tweeted out and replied when Trovon Reed got the job. He basically said, "Now you're making it easy for me," and put up the fight on emoji. And said, you know, possibly alluding to the fact that he may want to come and become a USC Trojan. So Lamar Brown, you know, #1 interior offensive lineman out of the class of 2026. He's coming out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and has a USC offer. Now, obviously, you know, all the Blue Bloods are in on this kid: Alabama, Georgia, LSU, USC, and all types of players. But UCF was up there as well in terms of being a warm interest landing spot for Lamar Brown. Now that Trovon Reed is not at UCF, maybe that turns into USC, and we're able to snag him. So that's great news, right? Already with that hire now in play in the ball game for what looks like to be a top 10 player in the class of 2026. In a class that, you know, USC is really killing in the class of 2026 right now. Consists number 2, number 3 overall class in the country. So looking pretty good with Lamar Brown.
And then they weren't finished. They went back and dipped back into Notre Dame, where they picked up Zaire Turner, and who worked hand in hand with Bowden to put together those three amazing recruiting classes at Notre Dame that helped them get to the national championship game. And this kind of comes on the heels also of another quick. I'll press. We'll just announce both of them. We could talk about both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
And then they got Dre Brown, who came in from Illinois, who was most recently working with them. And you're looking at, again, you're looking at now a young, energetic, experienced, proven, young and proven front office that really is going to compete with anyone. Make sure on these two, go check out what Ryan just dropped at LAFB. Great in-depth conversation about both of these guys. But Preston, I want to get your thoughts on both of them really quickly as well.
Yeah, when we talk about Dre Brown, guy that played a running back at the University of Illinois, was in with our GM now at South Bend the past 3 years. Got in as an offensive recruiting coordinator, then defensive analyst, and then recruiting analyst. And he was focused on the relations of high school, recruiting. So this is, like I said before, man, been there, done that. A guy that, was out of Chicago, metro Chicago area, went to the University of Illinois, starred as a running back at the University of Illinois, went on to, get into the business, ended up at Notre Dame, and just continued to build relations and do a great job, climbing the ladder in this business, and only being 27 years old, which is truly unbelievable. So excited about him, excited about Zaire Turner, and them being able to continue that working relationship along with Bowden and the GM now. So I'm happy to see the success, and I hope it continues.
Yeah. So his previous stops also, he also was a recruiting coordinator at Tennessee.
Yeah.
So guys, this is what we want to talk about tonight. It's this youth movement. We know that USC has done like an amazing job with development and bringing in the staff that we had. I mean, let's forget about this. Let's go back to the beginning. They had to fight off Penn State because you didn't want to lose Danton Lynn. As soon as you built that momentum, you didn't want to lose them. USC, you guys, is making moves now that are big boy moves. That like nobody can come in and take our stuff. And yet now we're going in and we're not only are we gaining these bright young front office people, but we're also hurting Notre Dame. And as much as Notre Dame, I love you, Will, out there wherever you are. It sucks. It sucks, but hey, we like the guys that we're getting out of Southern California. But these guys were the ones that helped you get a KVA. You know what I mean? So I think that Notre Dame and a lot of Notre Dame fans are being straight up and saying this is a really big deal. And as much as it hurts them, they're more worried about, because they know Notre Dame fans know what USC can be. And with USC picking up this level, with USC having the House of Victory, really starting to get moving. And by the way, on that topic, you guys, I don't know, I believe it was for as little as $20 you guys could get in. You could support, this.
Oh yeah.
If we could get all the infrastructure in place, USC needs to bolster that war chest. So you guys get out there and support House of Victory. Just go to www.houseofvictory.com. And look, some of you have millions, a lot of you don't. Just give what you can give. And if you don't, I don't want to hear about it in my comment section or the chat that you don't like the recruiting. So on that note, I'm Preston.
Yeah. Nothing like leprechaun tears, man. I love them. I love them. I could drink them all night, pour me a glass. But yeah, like this is things are setting up. Things are setting up. We're looking pretty nice right now, right? But at the end of the day, football has to be played. And, one thing I was thinking today, being that, we took these, and I see we have a lot of Notre Dame people in the chat tonight. It's interesting. Shout out my guy, Will. But it's interesting, right? Because you snag these elite young, staffers from Notre Dame, and it's like, damn, man, what if Notre Dame had like a 3-9 season? Like, would we still have the Emmanuel Pregnon on our team? Would we still been able to kept some of these players that we ended up losing if we weren't trying to take them from a Notre Dame squad that ended up making it to the national championship game? But that's fantasy land. We got them in now, so hopefully we can continue to improve and build something here.
And Mountain Man, yeah, that's gonna be pretty much the standard. I don't know if you've been keeping track, but there's some pretty big contracts going around now, and as much as we want to go into it kicking and screaming, this is going to be another situation where you have NIL and money moving into rule of sport, and it's a new age. You got to forget about what you knew about football even like 5-6 years ago. It's not the same. It's not recruiting. I mean, on Wednesday, you guys would have been the National Recruiting Day. I bet you most of you guys forgot that it's signing day on next Wednesday. By the way, on next Wednesday, you guys, there'd be a lot of great content out there. We received an email from the athletic department that they're going to be introducing all the new staff on Wednesday. So you're gonna hear a lot. You're gonna hear from Lincoln Riley. You're gonna hear from Chad Bowden. You're gonna hear from Rob Ryan, Chad Savage, and Trovon Reed. So you're gonna get a lot of introductions. I mean, usually not a whole lot of information, but it is a good situation for the fans to kind of get to see the new faces of this. How much traction they can do? Well, I mean, listen, there's still the spring portal window. There's gonna be a lot of kids showing up for spring ball and not liking where they're on the depth chart. And one thing I really like is you're gonna have all these people didn't just show up to take a year off. They've been working in recruiting, for the past 3 years. They have a lot of connections to a lot of people. And so think of all the people that USC had connections with, and now think about all the people that these new additions, guys like Trovon Reed and Chad Savage have. That's going to open some doors and maybe some possibilities for some spring transfers. So keep an eye out for that. But on Wednesday, which was basically signing day, no one really cares because everyone pretty much signs at the early signing period now. So it's a bit of a hole there, but we do have a caller. Here's what I'm gonna say to callers tonight. We're gonna open it up for calls in a couple of minutes when Preston's gonna have a few more words, and then we're gonna open for calls. We're doing quick calls tonight. So here's what I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear, what are your thoughts on the new staff, and do you think this? How much of a difference do you think this is gonna make? And we'll just leave it at that. And if we don't get any calls, Preston, again, I'm sick. We can call it a quick night. But we had to go live. We tell you guys that we go live when there is breaking news, and the momentum that USC has had over the past week, I mean, is amazing. And then go back a whole year. Look at the difference that this defensive staff, this coaching staff, looks like from a year ago, just 1 year ago. And look at where USC is now. I think USC is primed to take off. But listen, we have a special guest, a young man that knows a heck of a lot about Notre Dame football and USC football, and go weigh in on his thoughts on the Chad Bowden situation. Hey, Will, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, guys. I mean, obviously it sucks losing Chad, but I mean, apparently the Texas Tech guy, I don't know much about him, but apparently he's good. But the thing that Chad's really going to bring to SC is that Marcus had more control over high school recruiting. Chad was portal guy. So in this spring portal, Chad's going to go to work for USC for sure. And he's going to ton of dudes. And he'll also help a lot with retention. I don't know if Pregnon would have left if Chad would have came. If Notre Dame didn't go on the run that the Irish did. But yeah, portal-wise, that's where Chad is going to be huge in the spring portal window.
Okay. Well, that's interesting to hear. Okay. So he's like you're saying, he's more into he's a portal guy, not as much. Now, no high school, or just mainly that's who he was known for?
I got to go. Back in. I'm going to try to go downstairs.
Oh, you can't hear us? All right. Well, until we get Will back. That's interesting to hear. But again, have no fear, guys. That's what you brought a guy in like Trovon Reed, and that's why you got a guy named Chad Savage coming in. And it's not like again, I said Rob Ryan, he's not going to be doing that conventional young recruiting thing, but he is going to be a guy that's going to be instantly recognizable. Let's see what the linebacker situation looks like over the next, we got Junior Day coming up. That,
Tim, Rob Ryan has been on the road shaking hands with kids too this week. He's been out on the road, so he's actually
he had one very special visit. I did a video on that, right? Do you want to talk about the special visit out in Georgia that he did to a certain commitment USC has?
Xavier Griffin, going out there seeing Xavier Griffin. I believe there's some people out there seeing my guy Gus Cardova as well. Today it's hard to keep track of. There's just tons and tons of photos on Twitter all day, every day. But yeah, I'm happy to see that, man. I'm happy that he's stepping into high schools. Will, can you hear us?
We lost Will. Will call us back because we're not going to be taking too long on calls. Hi, caller. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey guys, this is Kobe calling from San Antonio. How you doing?
Kobe from where?
San Antonio.
Oh yeah. Hey Kobe, how you doing?
Pretty good. So I was just going to bring up one thing regarding the Chad Bowden hire. I wanted to think about this hire and the implications it has when it comes to recruiting the Trinity League. Because you think about how the past 2 cycles, he's into our backyard and pulled off a couple of blue chip recruit commits in what's his name, Kingston Villa Almalasa, and then also Madden Farimo out of J. Sarah. Yeah. And how pivotal it is and important for us to build that pipeline again with Mater Dei going into Bosco, getting more guys. Because if you go back and look at the past 3 recruiting cycles, this past 2025 cycle, we had 1 commitment from the Trinity League. That was Elijah Vicona. The prior year, you also had 1. You had Marcellus Williams. 2023, we didn't have a single Trinity League commit. So the fact that this guy is able to come from Indiana into our backyard and lure these SoCal, these Polynesian recruits that love the beach, they're from the islands, their families from the islands, and bring them to the Great Lakes region where it's snowing all the time. I think that is huge for our program. And not only that, but it's also good and encouraging to see Riley and company go and visit the Mater Deis of the world. So I just wanted to point that out and how significant that can be for recruiting going forward.
Well, we want to hit that really quick.
Yeah. It's complete. It's everything, man. You have a wealth of talent right in your backyard, and you haven't been able to consistently hit on these kids in this Trinity League with some of the greatest high school football programs in the country. But out in Notre Dame, out in Texas A&M, all these other schools, Alabama, they're just coming in and plucking them. So his ability to get guys out of that league and come to Notre Dame, big time players, defensive and particularly defensive players out of that league would help USC a lot. So hopefully he's able to turn that around here now that he's here.
Yeah, well, I mean, Notre Dame's been getting Polynesian linebackers for a long time. Going back to Manti Te'o, shows up on his visit and like a snowball. They're throwing snowballs at the team, yet he still ended up. But your point's well taken. Really great points, and it's not going to hurt again. I mean, who knows if Rob Ryan was the linebacker coach announced, maybe some of these decisions might have been different as well. Great call, Kobe. Appreciate it. Anything else really quickly for us?
No, that's pretty much it. Hope you feel better, man.
Yeah, I will. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Great call. Absolutely great call. Yeah, I think that there has been a concerted effort to recruit here in California overall by this staff, and you're seeing it. Doug Belk is just cleaning up with elite secondary guys. So I do think that there continues to be. I hope they go back to it because I heard it. The national narrative is that you can't really build a roster in California, which is complete BS. Yeah, of course you can. You've always been able to. Look at all the guys that are in the NFL. Look at the SEC and Big Ten teams. Ohio State loves to come over here and get linemen, right? Yeah, the Alabamas like to come over, and the Georgias. So it's not a situation where we're without this talent here in California. You could pretty much build a championship roster right here in California and then go out like Pete Carroll did and go get those NFL first round draft picks. I hope that that's doing it. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't happen, but we'll see. Don't expect too much, you guys. Again, it takes time to build some relationship building, right? But I do know that these guys are not coming in empty-handed. You know that Savage, again, already has work relationships here in California and around the country. And Reed, same thing. So expect that to happen. And as you just said, Preston, you have Ryan just going and pressing the flesh all the way around the South right now. So that should pay dividends as well.
For sure.
All right, guys. Well, that might be the fastest Conquest call-in show of all time because I am sick, but we did want to go live, come out. Actually, you want to hit on Junior Day. There's there's some pretty big stuff coming in for recruits. So it's a great time to get a staff together because you guys, some of the top talent in the country are going to be coming visiting USC this weekend and in the next couple of weekends. Go ahead if you want to hit that really quick, Preston.
So really, really big Junior Day coming up this Saturday for USC. Basically have about, I think, 12 to 15 local high school football players, some of the highest ranked, most regarded football players in the state. I'm looking at, the big guys, the linebackers. So Taialoa, Ely, linebacker out of Orange Lutheran, number 3 linebacker in the country right now, class of 2026. You also have an edge in Simote Kayotaga out of J. Sarah, 6'5", 240 pounds, number 10 defensive end in the country. And then Van Spafford, who is currently a Georgia commit at the wide receiver position. Kind of in between 5'11", every down wide receiver, can do a lot, versatile, also could be a deep threat at times, got great hands, and got good speed, man, at the wide receiver position. He's a Mission Viejo kid. So a few of the prospects, local guys that I'm looking at, hopefully maybe we can see some commits come out of this weekend. That'd be a blessing. But hopefully they can go to work, man, and have some great conversations and show these guys a good time for this Junior Day this weekend.
It's going to help also, like I said, to have this staff in place. I think it might be a bit awkward though, because you have Annie Hansen just stepping down, and I know that she's been pivotal in a lot of these events. Obviously, I'm sure that this isn't just a sudden thing, and they do have a plan in place for this weekend. But great news. Oh, we got a celebrity. We're gonna hang around for one more phone call. What do you think? I got a celebrity on the line.
Yeah, I think I know who it is.
This man needs no introduction. Paulie, how you doing?
Paulie Walnuts.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing, Preston? It's good
What's
to
up?
see you. It's good to talk to both of you. I just wanted to chime in here really quickly. But anyway, can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Hello? Did I lose? Okay. Anyway, I just wanted to chime in quickly, man. You know what? This is this is what I've been hoping for all along. Just trying to stay positive throughout this whole process. It's been tough. It's probably the toughest time for me throughout all of my years of loving this football, this university, and this football program. This has been probably one of the past couple of years have been the toughest years that I've been through. I mean, I know the other years were pretty bad, but when you have so much faith in something and you believe in something and it's constantly getting ripped apart and just shredded to pieces, man, in the media, everywhere, to see us finally building this beautiful thing. It's these foundation pieces, I call it, where you see we're just going in that right direction and we're doing things the right way and we're doing it the SC way. And what I am really getting a kick out of is I honestly am a big body language kind of guy. You can see to me in some of the pictures, the coaches are having a lot more fun. Lincoln seems to be a little bit less stressed out, to be honest with you. The way he's smiling, the way he's talking. I mean, everyone seems to be having a lot of fun. And I can tell you right now, guys, this is what's really firing me up, is you can see the fear on a lot of these other programs that are on there that I watch. And these guys don't want to ever talk about SC.
They know.
Because they know we're on the up and up.
They know.
And we know we're on the up and up. And that is the biggest fear of college football, is for our USC Trojans to be back in a power position. They do not want that. And let me tell you, they'll never give us credit, but we're getting there, and we're getting close. But what's great additions. All in all, they're building a top-class organization. And, everybody, of course, everybody seems to make a big deal out of how, Lincoln's pushing. I don't care what people say, man. Lincoln and Jen get along great. Lincoln's involved in everything. He's our coach. He's our leader. For him, people just say, that he's just kind of off to the side, not really, doesn't have input in anything. I mean, of course the guy's going to have some input, but you know what? I think it's him evolving as a coach where he's open to anything, man. He knows Jen's a great leader, and I've heard him say it numerous times. He's complimentary. He spoke nothing but great things about Jen. And you know what? I just hope Lincoln finally shows the world what he's capable of doing this coming season, guys. Listen, man, I'm burned out. I'm tired. I had a rough day. But let's go, guys, and fight on.
Fight on. Great. Way to bring it. Listen, Holly and I had this conversation, and I'm just trying to put the last pieces together on. I want to do any old heads out there that would just have watched years, especially the early days of the Jim Rome show. I don't know if you guys do it, but they have these epic smack offs and these conversations. I'm not really looking for smack necessarily. I mean, if you guys want to go out, you can have that. That's fine. But I really would love to have a show, right, where it's just like the old school Jim Rome show where Paulie does it every time. Paulie, when he was a caller back in the day, he would just call in and he would do it. He would bring a quick take, like a 1 minute take, and what was the Jim Rome thing? It's just, have a take and don't suck. And the idea is sometimes I think some of you guys out there, you first time callers that haven't called in, I think the issue is that you guys think you need to come in and have that, I don't know, that endless level of knowledge that Paulie has, or talk, or so like we have when we had the call from Kobe and just start breaking down the recruiting classes the last 3 years of who was the Trinity or League or not. Man, this show is just for Trojan fans and really college football fans that want to talk about USC. And we're open to any kind of conversation, and you just call in and just throw it down. So I'm really excited about the idea of having that show. I don't know how well it will work. I mean, right now, it's we didn't announce this. We're still trying to figure out a day we're going to do this on a regular. I know I'm going to have. Who was it? Terry. I can't remember the gentleman that called in. He's like calling again and say, Tim, I'm trying to figure out when you guys are doing your show, and unfortunately, because life and trying to calibrate two schedules, it has been a bit of a challenge. But we're hoping to lock down a couple of days. I'm thinking we're not sure yet. I still got to cover it with Preston, but Tuesday, Thursdays. You know what I mean? I'll do it. So Thursday we could get Preston in here, and then Tuesday maybe I could talk Paulie into Tuesdays. And then we can just have a Tuesday, Thursday thing. And then, as always, we will always pop live, which is a good reason to subscribe to the channel. You guys, we are 4 away from 6,000.
4 away.
Maybe we could probably get that tonight if we get a couple people right now. The crazy thing is we've got 600 people pretty much watching, but the vast majority, like 400 of them, are over on Twitter. Make sure that you guys are hitting at Fight On Preston. You guys, if you're not following Preston on Twitter, what are you doing? I'm telling you. Also, thanks. I didn't really set. There we go. We got one. We sent out. Usually, we sent out a tweet, and guys like Gabe over at Trojan Blade, Nico, and Rusty, Gil Marin. I'm forgetting some. Oh, the guys over at Light the Torch podcast. They always retweet us out. So appreciate all of those guys. Make sure you give them follows on Twitter and on YouTube as well. But we are. Oh wow! Look at that. Heck, Preston, we should have done this a while ago. I should have put up there. We were
I know. We would have been at
5,900.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we're kind of in the off season where things slow down, and our channel, we're really pretty much live shows, and it's usually you don't really get a lot of subscribers on doing live shows. The way to do it is on videos and shorts, and we really haven't been doing that. But that's why Preston's blowing up on his channel. So maybe if we hang out for another minute, we can get that 6,000th person to subscribe. But I appreciate everyone being here. Thank you guys so much for all the support like you always give us. I know you guys always have plenty of options. I say it all the time. When I was in high school and when I was going to USC, we had almost zero coverage of USC. Now, part of that was because we had Paul Hackett. So I'm not going to lie. That's probably part of what it was. And there was a serious malaise over the entire Trojan family. But even then, for ages, all you would get is maybe one call on the Jim Rome show or Lee Hacksaw Hamilton for 5 seconds on 690 would say something about USC, and then you could pull up the Press Telegram, and then maybe you get a tiny little corner blurb in the LA Times about USC, then a big full page thing on the Bruins like we always had in the LA Times during the 1990s. But Appreciate everybody. I'm your Prez. Definitely, you guys follow his lead. Everyone follow Preston on Twitter. Follow his channel. Did we just go down?
Dude, come on, guys. Three.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna close it out. Maybe we'll get those 3 off the air. I was hoping to get it right now, but we're good. Any final words for everyone, Preston? It's
words are just all I can say is faith, man. Faith. Just have faith in this program, have faith in this staff and this players. Things are looking pretty good right now. We're not playing football right now, and things will still continue to take time, but things seem to be fantastic, man. Let's celebrate the wins, even though, it might not be tangible. It might not be a national championship or a 12, 13 game, 15 game season right now. But let's just appreciate the wins. Let's appreciate, the good news. And that's all I can say.
And it is great news, you guys. Yeah. We have probably the best coaching, in my opinion. I know I'm biased, but there we go. We're at 6,000. I should let Preston talk more. You guys to 6,000. Thank you guys all for that milestone. Really, really cool. Thank you. Guys, realize this. Realize the fact that USC is